Today is day 45 of the podcast, and we've been looking at fire as an emblem of the Lord and symbol of the Lord. And we've looked at the burning bush, we've looked at the pillar of fire, and so this third expression that we're going to see of the presence of God is of fire on the mount. It's the place where heaven and earth touch. So let me read a few verses to you. One is Exodus 19:18, and it says, "Now Mount Sinai was all in smoke because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked violently." And again, we read in Exodus 24, this is at the time where the covenant's being made, Exodus 24, verse 15, "Then Moses went up to the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. And the glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day he called to Moses from the midst of the cloud. And to the eyes of the sons of Israel, the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the mountaintop. And Moses entered the midst of the cloud as he went up to the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. What a profound, awesome, fearsome kind of picture that's laid out here. Now Moses is permitted to draw near to this glory, to this fire, and just like the high priest, he's not going to be consumed by it. But I want you to take note here. This is when God is making covenant with Israel by means of the law. And this definition of fire being a separation, but as high priest Moses being allowed to draw near. So what do we see? Fire represents God's presence and, as defined here, his glory. It also defines his holiness. The boundaries of his holiness are being set here. Now, do you remember in Genesis 3, verse 24, when God removes Adam and Eve from the garden, he stations a cherubim with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. So that flame was set to be a boundary and a guard between man and then the very holiness of God. Fire also represents a place of sacrifice. We're going to see that over and over again. But in Hebrews 12, verse 28, it says, "Therefore, since we receive a kingdom which cannot be shaken, let us show gratitude by which we may offer to God an acceptable service with reverence and awe. For our God is a consuming fire." This fire represents a place of sacrifice, a place where man and God meet together, but the encounter is going to be marked with fire. So here's my question today. Do you see God's holiness and his desire for holiness as a burden or as a gift?